Hello, hope you're doing well. I'm Mariah Ramharack, and I'm so pleased to welcome you to another episode of In Case You Missed It on SportsMax and Scene TV. In today's episode, I'm joined online by the president of the Jamaica Hockey Federation, Fabian Stewart. Fabian, welcome to In Case You Missed It. How are you?
I'm not bad. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. I'll start by telling you congratulations on the qualification of the Jamaica men's hockey team to the 2024 Hockey Fives World Cup. What an achievement this is for the sport and by extension, your administration.
It certainly is. Hockey has been played in Jamaica from, I think the history says 1904. To my recollection, to the research, we've never qualified for a World Cup or a FIH international event. So, it is certainly an achievement, but I'll tell you, there have been a lot of our supporters and stakeholders that have made this possible. People like Minister of Sports, the Minister herself, the Jamaica Olympic Association. I mean, they have been really stalwarts behind our efforts in going forward. So I just have to mention it, and then all the team members and staff members, the coaches, Dr. Holt. I mean, it has really been a group effort in terms of getting us to where we are now.
Yeah, and it's really a big deal, and I look forward to hearing more about it. But I'll continue by asking you to talk to me about the work that went into getting the hockey team to this point. We're talking qualifying for a World Cup.
Well, the work started, a lot of people don't know, way back in 2016, when we actually came into the administration. I came in and the board decided to go in the direction of the Hockey Fives. We had a junior team. Junior team was able to be put together and went off to the youth qualifying tournament. And from that, we really amassed a different, we call it a paradigm shift, a coaching, just a coaching sort of revolution with using coaching groups. And we worked both on the coaches, Dr. Wall, Devon, Nicole. I mean, just increasing not just the cadre, but the quality of the coaches. And even through COVID, that group stuck together, continued some work, and then eventually we were able to, from the administration side, get the tournament and then have our team participate at that tournament and qualify. So it's really has been a particular journey.
Yeah, and Fabian, the Hockey Fives format, how much do you enjoy this one?
The Hockey Fives format is the 2020 of cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at a congress in Chile the other day, and the President Tayyab actually said that he has no doubt that in a very short while the format will be in the Olympics, and it would really be, it is the excitement. I mean, the ball can't go out. It's end-to-end action. It's really a revival for the game of field hockey.
So do you think that this format is the future of the sport?
It has its place. There are the traditionalists that will still play the 11-a-side. The 11-a-side is the creme de la creme of our game. It is a fantastic game. Similar to football, but the Hockey Fives, you could see it in Jamaica, the excitement, the entertainment value, the particular type of skill, and also what is important is something called competitive balance. When you saw that competitive balance, when you have 5-on-5, it conjures up the ability of smaller nations to take on bigger nations, and hence a greater level of excitement.
Yeah, and in June, your team and of course Jamaica hosted the Pan American Cup campaign at the Mona Hockey Field. How was that event? Were there any challenges, and if so, how were you able to overcome it?
That's actually a very interesting question. I mean, in our sport, being an amateur sport, there's always challenges. Finance has been our Achilles heel. Um, I, you know, it. What we have to do is, and it's just a philosophy of always a philosophy of mine. You fail forward. So what you do is focus on the tournaments. You focus on your development pathway and your plan, and you just continue knocking on doors, continue looking for the required finances. And I mean, in some instances, you really want a really nice car, but at the end of the day, you want transportation. So rather than the expensive SUV, you will go with a smaller vehicle. So we put together a tournament, thanks to Dr. Campbell and his team, that fit what all the regulations. We were not fancy or pretty, but the reports coming back was that every single team enjoyed themselves.
So based on what happened with that competition, does your administration plan to host more hockey competitions in the future?
We would really like to do that. I mean, the issue of hosting tournaments, though, comes down at a particular point to the support that you're going to get from the government and the local administration. It's really tough going when you have to try and get the requisite finances and you're waiting on the funds. And, it's really, it takes a particular skill set, but we know we have the talent because we've done this before. 2017, 2014, we know we have the talent to host tournaments. I suspect that the administration just simply wants to get more support, both corporate and the government, in order to just continue hosting tournaments.
Yeah, and we know how much support is important. And I'll ask you a bit more in detail about that as we continue the interview. But before we get to that, I want to ask you about the crop of Jamaican hockey male players, the set of players that will be representing Jamaica at the Hockey World Cup. Do you think they have what it takes to push the sport in the right direction?
No, absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, I've said this, I'm on record for saying this, and I think PAF themselves, they've recognized Jamaica has immense talent. Our young hockey players can play and rumble with the best of them. They just need to have an opportunity to do so. One of the things that we're trying to do with some of our players, and it is to try and get them into somewhere like Europe, the male players, so that they can sham their skills. When you see the differences, for example, between ourselves and Trinidad, the differences is simply because some of these organizations, they have been able to get their teams, get members of their teams into Europe, for example, the males, and they've shammed their skills. Once we are placed on the same footing in terms of some of these fellows that we have, I dare say that we will be a force to be reckoned with.
And Mr. President, what will it take for us to get the Jamaican players into Europe, as you just outlined?
Well, going to Oman is a start. I mean, the President Tab has extended an invitation to myself to also have those discussions to help to see how best we can look at that particular type of matriculation. But essentially, again, you're looking at a support structure and network. There are schools over there. Most of our players, I think there are about 4 or 5 of the players, if not 6 or 7, are actually university graduates or in university. So there are potential transfers to allow them to continue their education and play hockey within Europe at those types of universities and in those leagues. There are discussions as well, as I've indicated before, that once we get corporate support, some of these fellows can go for short-term playing experiences in different areas, not only in Europe, but also in South America. So what simply needs to happen is we have put the work in to put the foundation down, and all we're saying is simply, can we have a little corporate support? Can we have a little governmental support for the players so that they can continue with the transformation of their lives and give us some returns.
Right. Understand. Well, recently, a few days ago actually, there were the inter-squad games to get the men's team ready for Oman. How was that session? Did you get a report on what happened?
No, it's very interesting. I tend to leave the coaches to coach, and try to beat down doors and do everything else to get the finances. I did pass through some of the games. I did see the guys, the enthusiasm, the work rate they're putting in, and we are a continuous work in progress. This level that we're going at is by no means a very easy level. But when I'm looking at as I said, the work and even the engagement of a high performance physical trainer that was introduced, you can start to see changes in the attitude, changes in the modification, in the ability to play at the next level.
Right, and the coach, the man tasked with the job, Devon, Henon, how has he been? Tell me a bit about coach, because you would have been working with him very closely. He's tasked with, of course, one, ensuring that he does what the administration wants of him, and two, making Jamaica so proud at this World Cup stage. So, a bit about him?
Well, Devon is a very interesting and unique fellow. And we do have a very good, or interesting relationship. I think our relationship revolves around the technical director, that is Dr. Holt, Michelle Holt. Yeah. Dr. Holt and myself have been working on a program for coaching matriculation, bringing young people into coaching, introducing them to international courses. And Devon happened to have come through some coaching sessions, not necessarily coaching, but qualification sessions that were laid down. He was actually identified by Pablo Mendoza. And an interesting side note is that he actually coached against and beat Pablo Mendoza, who is the coach for the male Paraguay team, to actually earn our spot in Oman. Yeah. And Pablo recommended Devon as actually the best, or one of the best coaches that we have had. And I've seen him grow from the qualifications that we had, CSC games and in the CSC game, and some of the work that he has done. So it's difficult for me to question his capability and what he's doing where the team is concerned. He really takes his task very seriously, sometimes too seriously. But he has been getting the type of results that we have and the objectives that we have set. So he gets all the support, and he has a team around him. And this is one of the things that we've done in terms of the modification of the way we look at coaching. Coaching is a team-oriented sort of structure. We call it the paradigm shift. And being gender neutral, we have, Nicole Bradshaw, we have Erskine, and other female coaches that are there with technical assistance and with other assistants where the men are concerned. And I mean, that's all under the watchful eyes of Dr. Holt. So I'm fairly comfortable that they're doing as much as they can do, given our resources to compete effectively.
I mean, we can't question him. He's gotten the Jamaica team to the World Cup, so I think his work speaks for itself. Viewers, it's now time for a quick break on In Case You Missed It. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll find out about how hockey continues to grow in Jamaica as a sport. All right, welcome back to In Case You Missed It. I'm chatting with Fabian Stewart. He is the president of the Jamaica Hockey Association. Fabian, I have to ask you, because I know sport generally is very expensive. Is hockey an expensive sport to play?
Hockey is not particularly expensive. I mean, the infrastructure of the AstroTurf and things like that that the structure costs. But in terms of the sticks, you can get average price sticks and it's simply a matter of just kitting up with a stick and a shin guard and things of that nature. The sport, it's probably mid-tier expensive, but not extremely expensive to play.
Yeah. And early in the interview, you hinted about the required support for the sport. You mentioned that you received support from the Ministry of Sport and the Jamaica Olympic Association. But do you think more support can be given to the hockey team to ensure that the team perform better, even better?
All right, Mariah, but let me just take us back a second. We need support like now. Yeah. The national team, the Oman visit, for example, we're talking somewhere in the region of about $43,000 just the airfare. We're talking somewhere in the region of about $3,000, $4,000 for meals and accommodation. No, about $5,000 thereabout. And then for other incidentals, about another $2,000. We were surprised to receive a small donation, let me just put it that way, from our ministry that they've congratulated us, but have indicated some issues in terms of tightening our constraints with their purse string. And we're pursuing other individuals to try and get that done, get the rest of the funding, because missing this tournament is not an option.
Yeah.
We must get to this tournament. So that's my first thing, in terms of just indicating that we're trying with corporate Jamaica, we're knocking on doors, we have been profusely asking people to come along on the journey. But we recognize that the issue of discretionary spending relative to businesses and the environment, it's really tough. But I'm appealing over, and I will continually appeal to our stakeholders, our businesses, our corporate Jamaica, and individuals. If we invest in sports, like this, your returns on investment it can be measurable, because you're not only transforming lives, you will be transforming a greater opportunity for other individuals that want to play the sport, when they see where the sport can take them.
Yeah, definitely. So if the corporate Jamaica, businesses want to reach you, how can they?
Oh, easy, very easy. Not only can they email me directly, FAB_30 US@yahoo.com. My number, I've given it to everybody, is 283-5331. And they can literally go online, and I'm also, I think I have a NOC, the JOA's email address, and I have also, there is through our website on the Hockey Federation, there is in fact a way in which you can get to us from that website with the emails. So we're easy to get to. Once you're talking money, you can call me anytime.
Yes, and of course support our Jamaican hockey players. Now, if somebody is looking at the show and they want to join the national hockey team now in Jamaica, what's the process like? Do you just show up at trials? Do you show up at training? Is it easy to become a part of the Jamaica hockey national team?
Well, a national team is the top end of the whole continuum in sports, right? So you do know that you have the participation, you have engagement, and then you have the performance thing from that sporting continuum model. So if a player has that capacity, then usually what they do is they send in information. And we've had some female players in the US that have expressed interest, and others. They send in information. Obviously, they will have to go through the process related to their residency or their citizenship.
Correct.
And once they've done that, satisfied the coach in terms of their capability through videos and stuff, then they will be looked at. And obviously, Coach Henon and his team will make any decision as to whether that player would be invited or not invited. So for the top half, in terms of the level of excellence, it's not really difficult, but there is a process, because we have to ensure that if you want to represent the country, you are in fact capable and able to represent the country.
Yes. Tell me a bit now, because you just touched on it, about the women's hockey program in Jamaica.
Well, the women's hockey program, and I try to put this on the table, and the ladies in my federation know, I'm relatively gender neutral. I do sit on the PAF board, and the Pan American Hockey Federation is one of the most gender neutral entities you would find. The fact of the matter is that our women's program, like any other program, had a cyclical issue in terms of losing some players. We had the effect of COVID, obviously. But the work that has been done so far in terms of building that program moved, and I mean, we really pushed for the qualification for the CSC games in Bermuda. They came third, but were automatically granted qualification and literally shocked the CSC world by coming fifth in that tournament and en route. Sorry about this, Mariah, but beat Trinidad and Tobago that we haven't beaten in about 27 years.
That's okay. That's okay. You know why? Because when I talk about Trinidad and I talk about Jamaica, I still say we and us and our.
Exactly. In fact, it's kind of strange. One of my mentors for the Pan American Hockey Federation and the board and thing is Maureen Craig Russo.
Yeah.
We have a great relationship, and I mean, the lady I admire very much, and has taught me a lot. So we're not that much, you know. We're one big family.
Very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm moving on now to ask you about some of the challenges, Fabian, that you would have faced as hockey president, and how were you able to overcome it? Because I know being president, being in any leadership role is not always very easy. How have you been able to keep a straight face and continue on with the vision that you have for hockey?
I don't know if you have enough time. We'd probably have to do this in segments, but in short, one of the more inspirational leaders, I mean, and somebody I respect is President Chris Samuda. And when I became president and we had a discussion, President Samuda really spoke about the diversification in sports. So the idea of embracing more sports and the different types of sports was something that he was on about, both himself and Ryan Foster. But more importantly, what he sort of said in the whole spirit of the Olympicism is the playing of the sport, the transformation of lives, but leadership. And what he did was, he actually, I think, aided in some instance in terms of just having the idea of a vision with some level of fortitude about where you want to go and what you want to do. So we actually had a session done by the Jamaica Olympic Association, which was a strategic session. I do have a little capabilities in strategy. Once we married that capability with the strategic focus and we sort of built that out, what occurred was we were able to start to see from our deliverables and our KPIs some of the results. I mean, the fact that we could have younger players coming in, younger coaches, the increase in numbers, the schools, and that resilience from the strategic plan actually went right through, and that accompanied with the fact that I know you can't keep doing things the same way to get a different result.
Yeah.
So we changed it with a paradigm shift, and that allowed us to weather a massive storm through COVID, spent 3 months qualifying for the CSC games in Bermuda, and then going after the CSC games because we invested in the youth, right? We invested in the youth players. So there's a lot of story behind it. I mean, I may have to come back and give you some of the some
Yeah,
real
what we'll do is we'll save it for another show so you can tell me all
absolutely.
about it. But we're going to move along because I'm so excited that Jamaica is heading to the World Cup, right? And I'm thinking you're drawn in Pool B at the FIH World Cup. That's in Oman 2024. And you have to play India, Egypt, and Switzerland. Which team
Right.
from the group, right, looks like the biggest hurdles?
Call the three names again.
Which one? Come on, don't tell me all.
No, well, India is a beast. India is an absolute beast. They have been really ranked high. They've been up there, and Egypt has been improving and also playing. They, a lot of people don't know that field hockey is literally India's national sport.
Yeah.
Cricket.
We thought it was
So-
cricket.
Yeah?
We
I
thought
know
it
a
was
lot of people
cricket.
that was cricket, no. So they have a very extensive tradition in field hockey. They have been playing it and playing it at a high level. All those teams that you see qualify are really tough teams. But the beauty about hockey fives is it's your five against my five, and the tournaments have provided some unexpected twist and turn because remember, this is the first Hockey Fives tournament, World Cup tournament, right? The first. Hockey Fives was introduced in 2012 and just exploded from the youth level right to the senior level. So in 2024, this is literally the first World Cup tournament. But we knew that Jamaica has the capability to play at that level based on the players that we have.
Yeah. And, Jamaica, they will begin their World Cup campaign. It opens against Egypt January 28, 2024. That's right around the corner. How much work needs to be done to get the team ready for this opening match?
There's a lot of work, and I have to be very realistic because, sometimes I have to demonstrate what I call realism. We would love to have had the ability to play several games going into the games. We really love that. I mean, Coach Henon will, I know I'm probably going to be pulled over the coals for our inability to try and finance an appropriate sort of road to the Oman games. But the fact of the matter is that we have resource constraints. What I know though, is that Coach Henon, Dr. Holt, Ebony, and that team, they have sacrificed a lot. They've put in a lot of work. And the fellas there have also put a lot of things on hold to really go there and play up their best. So, we are committed to go there and represent the country as best as we can.
Yeah, and as we get ready to wrap up this part of the interview, Fabian, as president, are you pleased with the direction that Jamaican hockey is heading?
It was very interesting. There was an interview that I did that I said I'm a very hard man to please. We have work to do. We have a lot of work to do. We are going in the direction we ought to go in, particularly at the senior national level, but you don't sustain that without building a proper league structure, tournament structure, youth program, and what I call your PB programs. Some of those programs have been really affected, not just by the COVID, but voluntarism and issues of that nature. And we have had some success, but for me, there is a lot of work still to be done in terms of getting us to where we can actually be comfortable and say that, we would have a continuous and successful future for field hockey.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we get to do the most exciting part of the interview and hear some social media reactions as to what people have been saying about Jamaican hockey. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's now time for the most exciting part of today's interview. It's rapid fire time. So I'll ask a question and you say, Fabian, the first word or phrase that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Sure.
Best part about Jamaica?
Food.
What word comes to mind when you hear hockey?
Success.
Best advice that you've received?
Fortitude.
Your biggest achievement as president?
I'm stuck. History.
Okay,
History,
making history, right.
Yes.
Your favorite hockey player?
Wow. Of all times or currently?
All time.
Tasha Cook.
Okay. When you're not involved in doing hockey business, what are you doing?
I'm a member of the Pan American Hockey Federation board. I'm currently at a planning session now overseas. I'm also a member of I'm a member of the Jamaica Olympic Association board, and I'm also the business development individual at the University of the West Indies, as well as I am an adjunct lecturer in sports business management and also sports project management for the master's program for the Sports Academy.
So you're just always working. I get it.
Yes.
All right. What would it mean to you if Jamaica won the Hockey Fives World Cup in 2024?
I'd probably have a heart attack, but
None of that. You'll just be really happy.
Exactly, I'd be over the moon.
Yes.
I'd definitely be over the moon if we were to win that tournament. I suspect that people see me cry and they haven't seen me cry in a long while.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to see that. Tears of joy. So,
Yes.
Fabian, that was some good fun. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Before I let you go to your meeting, let's head across to social media to see what's been happening. So the Jamaica Hockey Federation tweeted this. Fabian Stewart, president of the Jamaica Hockey Federation, recently met with the Honorable Olivia Babsy-Grange, Minister of Sports and Gender, to discuss plans for the Hockey Fives World Cup qualifiers to be held in Jamaica this June. So this was earlier this year, Fabian. How did that meeting go?
No, it went fairly well. I mean, I got the budget increased, so we did, Dr. Campbell and myself did a fairly good job. Minister said that we were like Pastor Jennings and the guy that read the Bible behind him. So we persuaded the ministry to up the funding to us, and they did.
Okay.
So that was a successful meeting.
All right. Do we have another social media reaction for him? All right, let's see. So we also have this one from the Jamaica Hockey Federation. And this is what they had. And a name has entered the chat. Tell us what you believe should be the name for the male Hockey Fives World Cup team to Oman in 2024. And there were some suggestions, Fabian. Reggae Sticks, Fire Sticks, Irish Sticks, 8-7 Sticks. Oh, I like that one, like 8-7-6. Which one did you eventually agreeing to, or none yet?
I have left it to the team because I have a name and they have said to me never to repeat it in public. And, because I was trying to bring across a name with a unique fruit that we had.
Oh.
And, with our famous Shabarang statement, but I mean, my federation and a couple of people inside there said never.
Yeah, stick to the business deals.
Yeah, exactly. They said to me, nope, leave that naming of the team's convention to them. So I've left it.
All right. Well, Fabian, I want to thank you so much. I really enjoyed chatting with you on In Case You Missed It. I'm wishing you all the best. I hope the sponsors come on board. And I'm looking forward to see Jamaica shine at the Hockey Fives World Cup.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'd be happy to come back again.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually the CEO, beggar and chief.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the fact that,
All right. Well, you take care.
All righty, ma'am.
Well, folks, that's it from us for today. Be sure to like, share, and comment, and let me know which team you'll be supporting at the Hockey Fives World Cup in Oman next year. Goodbye for now.